All right, music fans, welcome back to the Real Music Observer. It's Dave observing real music in real time for real people, just like you right there, and me here, trying to drive and do a video. I got a notification from CBS Legacy Music, and they let me know yesterday that Infinity, Journey's groundbreaking, amazing album, turns 40 years old. Just crazy. This month, January of 1978. Yours truly did not buy Infinity right away. I was one of those guys that went back and purchased everything. I purchased even the stuff prior to Perry when I started getting into Journey, because I was just, okay, what does this sound like? And then I went back and I'm like, where's this guy who's singing? He's not there. And the music was very different, but I was still finding things that I liked to hear on those older albums. Things like Next. Okay, I know I had Next. I know I had the self-titled album. But here's the thing about Infinity. Roy Thomas Baker, okay, and Steve Perry. Steve Perry's songwriting just absolutely is quintessential as far as getting this band moving along. Like, hey, you're going to create some good music now. And Herbie Herbert's like, you know, you're going to be a band now. You're going to sell some records. And out of the gate, by the way, with a little help from Robert Fleischman, you've got things like Wheel in the Sky and Lights. The story behind Lights is hysterical if you know that Steve Perry intended that song to be a jingle for a news program, like their introduction. You know how news programs, especially in the old days, had, you know, Channel 9 News now, and when the lights go down in the city and the news floats over the bay. You know, I don't know how the lyrics actually were supposed to go, but Lights was in the title of the song, and Perry was a jingle writer. He had a few of them that got out there, and the Lights song was supposed to be a jingle and turned into one of the most iconic rock songs ever. But between those two songs, and then, of course, the first collaboration with Neil Schon, Patiently, a very good song, and there's really no filler on this album. My favorite Journey moment from this era is found Feeling That Way and Anytime. By the way, you have to play them together. I know at that time, CBS just released Feeling That Way, okay? And yeah, I get it. It's, you know, AM radio at the time was big. And I believe there's even a music video for Feeling That Way. Anytime on FM radio, the two songs have to go together. I am that emphatic that I took my hands off the wheel to say that. It's just one of those pet peeves of mine. It's like when the Kings released This Beat Goes On and switch into Glide, if you know anything about like early 80s FM rock. That song has to be played together. Those two songs are even more dependent on each other than Feeling That Way and Anytime. Okay, so I've gone off on a crazy tangent, but that's how strongly I feel about that. This album, again, I give Roy Thomas Baker, who was also producing the Cars' debut album at the time, I give him tons of credit because he harnessed a certain new energy. You could say there's like a new wave thing going on in there, but it's really just production value. Their prior albums were very, almost like produced in a dark room. You know, they didn't have the same brightness and they didn't have that same kick. Roy Thomas Baker just knew instinctively, and he produced things like, or helped produce things like Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen. So the dude, he's a Brit, so he had a completely different way of doing things, and I think it really helped that and Steve Perry and some much better material. I think those are the things that really made Infinity one of the great albums of all time, and also it started a string of amazing albums by the band Journey. All right, that's my video. If you don't own Infinity, get it. Get Infinity, put it on a CD, get the MP3s, whatever you do, you got to get the album. I'm Dave, and this is the Real Music Observer. We'll be back observing more real music in real time for real people just like you and just like me. Talk to you then.